Hello, welcome to the Center Code training video talking about analyzing your data in your project. In this particular video, we're going to talk about reporting and exporting your data. So in this video, you'll learn what reports are possible within Connect, be it charts, pie graphs, spreadsheets, etc. We'll talk about how to create your own customized reports. We're also going to talk about what options are available for distributing these reports and how to properly export that data. Within the Nighthawk project, this is part of the management phase. This is after your testers have been in your site, you've got feedback, you've got surveys coming in, you've got data in your site to actually manipulate and export. So to start off, we're going to talk about reports in Connect. You can create full roll-up reports that effectively are an entire survey worth of reports. So for every question, you've got your responses and your charts for each question, etc. You can also create element by element reports, so fully customized reports where you choose exactly what element and what data you want to pull out of the system. And then when you add those two things together, you can create complete customized reports and construct full reports from that. So for example, you can create a full roll-up report of a survey and then include your individual element or a custom element or two, however you want to do it, and move things around and customize your report completely. You can also create full reports based entirely on your custom element by element reports. So to discuss reporting within your project, let's go ahead and start off in the Nighthawk project homepage. And you can see on the left-hand menu there the reports link. Now you can also access reports through the project tools, but we'll actually go ahead and jump into reports from here. So you can see with every implementation we include some templated reports, be it bug reports, daily journals, and other feedback, or tester participation, perhaps even geographic reports if you have geographic reporting turned on for your particular site. All of these are already included. Now you can just review these by simply clicking the view icon and view the actual report. You can modify the parameters of these reports by clicking on modify. You can view the individual elements within these reports, so every single question of a survey or whatever other elements you have included in your customized report. You have a title. The refresh icon allows you to refresh the data to the most current version, and basically that means that we store an existing copy or a cached copy of the report and allow you to refresh that report whenever you're ready or whenever you want the newest data. You have a last refresh column showing you when it was last reviewed. You can also change the ordering or remove them as with most other of our list tables. So from here we're actually going to step through creating a new report or report element by clicking on that link on the bottom. And from here you choose your report type. So if you notice the top category there being single report elements and the bottom category being complete reports, you can see that you can create your individual elements using those top labels or create a full roll-up report utilizing the complete reports. So for example, let's go ahead and create a full roll-up report of a survey here. We'll click on survey and we'll be taken to choose which survey we want to review. So go ahead and pull that first impression survey and hit next. The next section allows you to set your chartable element information and your text element information, the options corresponding to each of those. So you can see numeric values, display percentages. You can also include 0 result items if you want or not. The visual theme allows you to change how the graph looks itself. We'll go ahead and leave it at medium and gray. You can set your chart type to be column, bar, area, spline, etc. And you can have it be 2 or 3D. You can also have it exclude all textual elements, so anywhere that is a free-form text box where a user can type in whatever information they want. Maybe you only want the elements where their responses are controlled, like single or multiple choice elements. You can choose that option. You can also have it include blank answers, so those text elements will show every individual who took the survey, whether or not they even responded, they'll be shown. And you can also have it hide the full name of the submitter. In this case, I'm going to leave it like it is. I included the display numeric values, but I'm going to hit next. And from here you're taken to the survey element options corresponding to the filter, and from here you can choose a particular filter to apply to the data, otherwise it'll pull all the survey results for everyone that took the survey. So here you have the opportunity to narrow those results as you see fit, perhaps to team or when that survey was submitted. I'm going to go ahead and leave it with no filter, and click next to continue. From here you can see that we have 17 individual data items, and once it's finished spooling and caching that data, it'll actually display the results for you. So from here you can scroll down, you can see all the different elements that we have here, feature richness, visual appearance, etc. And this is everything corresponding to that survey. You have the text-based elements there that you can see and the individual responses therein. And once you get to the very bottom, you have the opportunity of saving that report. So let's say that this is almost exactly the report that I want, but I want to be able to add some additional information like a spreadsheet or something like that from the very top, giving me a little bit more context information for my survey. I'm going to go ahead and save this report. Although I do have the option to directly export the report data as PDF or view a printable version that I can then export, save, or print. So from here I'm going to save the report. I have a first impression survey title there, and I'll go ahead and leave that like it is. Scrolling down, we'll get into the distribution methods and recipients, and we'll actually end up covering that here in a little bit. So go ahead and scroll all the way down, and we're going to save this and submit. And it's going to prepare that data again and give us a full loadout of all the elements within this report. So for example, if I don't want some of these elements to show up or I don't need them anymore, I can simply remove them with the remove icon. Choosing to remove them, I confirm, and now that is no longer part of my report. I can also change the ordering of these individual items to be exactly the order I want them to be. So I have those 16 elements there. And from here I can view the report, I can export the report, or I can modify the report's parameters. So in this case I want to actually add an element to that report, giving some additional context. So as such, I'm going to go ahead and create a new report or report element again. I'm going to choose a single report element here. I'm going to choose of the user's type, and you can check in those descriptions on the right hand side what they correspond to. So you can see users covers surveys, tasks, notices, test platforms, user profiles, and their participation metrics. That sounds like exactly what I want, so I'm going to go ahead and utilize that option. And I'm taking to choose the type of report that I want. I can choose single axis, dual axis, widgets, or other, and other corresponds to geographic reporting, creating spreadsheets, or even directly creating documents. Now in this case, I want to actually add a spreadsheet element along the top. It's going to give a little bit of extra information about this report in particular. So I'm going to choose the spreadsheet element type. And from here, I choose the view items that I want to see in my particular element. So just like a view in user management or feedback management, I will be able to choose the data sets that I want. And in this case, I want to see the user's teams, when they were added to the project, and when they actually submitted or completed this particular survey. So I'm going to go with team first, choose teams, project team, and then I'm going to go for when they joined, so key dates, project first login. And finally, I want to pull up the project survey's completion date. So I'm going to pull up first impression survey, scroll to the bottom to survey entry date. So that looks good to me. That's exactly the information I want. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. I have advanced options there where I can show grouping and basically control how this is displayed, but the default works for me where it sorts everything based on the user's first name. When I'm finished, I'm going to hit next. And I'm taken to that filter page again. In this case, I want everybody who has filled out that particular survey. So because it's user-based, it's going to pull up all of my users. So in this case, I actually need to apply a filter. I'm going to choose filter. I'm going to pull up my project surveys again. First impression survey. Scroll down to survey complete. I only want users who have completed that survey. So I'm going to set the default qualifier to is equal to yes. I'm going to add that to the filter and hit next when I'm finished. So you can see here, this is the loadout of that spreadsheet. I can see the teams that these users are on, when they first logged in, and when they first completed that survey. Scrolling down here, I can review the filter that I applied to the spreadsheet, and I have some additional options over what I had before. So I can modify the criteria or the filter. Moving into the Save section, I can append this data to an existing report, or I can save this element as the beginning of a new report. Now, as I said, I want to include this on that existing report that I already have, so I'm going to select Append this data to an existing report. Clicking to append that data, I'll choose a report to apply it to. Like the first impression survey that we had just created, I'll give this a title, and I can provide a description if I so see fit. In this case, I'm just going to hit next, and it will load up that report once again. So then from here, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see my new element. Now in this case, I actually want that element to be along the top, so I'm actually going to modify this here in a moment. I'm going to go back to report management, scroll down and take a look at my first impression survey. Now in this case, to access the individual elements, I'm going to click on that list icon there. Looks like the little notebook. And it's going to show me the full list of all the elements like I just saw moments ago. Scrolling down to the bottom, I have my context element here, so I'm just going to move this one up to the top. Clicking those ordering icons there allows me to move it up to exactly wherever I want it. And so there we go. I've got the first impressions tester context element right along the top, exactly where I want it to be. So now I can return to reporting. Now from here, let's talk about distributing and exporting those reports. You can set automated distributions that send to any individual teams or individual email accounts that you specify. You can also export in various formats, including PDF, CSV, tab, or text-limited formats. User data exports are an outlet for raw files, so if you're looking only for a user data export or a spreadsheet element, you're better served utilizing user exports than reports. Reports always generate that visual element, so if you're looking for something that is just going to be a data dump, utilizing reporting is way more effort and processing than you need. Again, just jump into user data exports, create your export, and export it on the fly. You don't need to generate that into a PDF or anything like that. Just straight into a CSV and you're done. That said though, you can export these elements in CSV from reporting if you so see fit, For example, if you have a good element that you want to utilize from an existing report, you can actually view that individual element and export it directly. So let's actually take a look at that directly within the Nighthawk project. So back in report management where we were just at, scroll down to your first impression survey, and we'll actually go ahead and view the first impression survey again. So using the view icon on the far left, we get a loadout of the entire report. Scrolling all the way to the bottom, we have our export options. So export report data here allows you to directly export that file, and you can choose a file name for it, so first impressions PDF, and then we'll click to generate the file. Now again, full reports can only be exported as PDF. If you want to export as CSV, so comma separated values for Excel or something like that, then you need to export those elements individually. To do that, go back to report management, scroll down to the bottom, and use the list icon to view the individual elements. From here, view the individual element using the view icon, and scroll to the bottom. From here you can export the report element using the link on the very bottom, and then you can choose the format you want it to be in. So comma delimited, let's say first impression CSV, and then we'll go ahead and generate the file. So you can see there we have that first impression CSV. We've also got our first impressions PDF that is the entire report. So now let's talk about distributing this data to particular teams or individuals in your project. So let's go ahead and look at the basic parameters using the modify icon for the first impression survey. You can adjust that title if you so see fit, and you can also adjust the team access. So then from here, you can choose to show your project managers this information and allow them to view this report, and you can also set it to distribute. So clicking to distribute opens up that distribution options, and you can choose to add additional recipients. So if someone outside the system, outside of Connect, or even just outside your project manager team needs to be able to see this report, you can add them to this list. You choose a refresh and distribution interval, so never, meaning that it won't automatically refresh and distribute. You can set it daily, weekly, or monthly. You've also got the distributed report format as PDF, so as a direct attachment to the email, or as HTML, meaning that it's then embedded into the email. You can adjust your from name and from email. Your additional advanced options include interactive chart elements allowing drill down from within the site, or show element filter details allowing the user to see exactly what filter we're viewing this report from. You can also override the visual theme to be consistent across all those individual elements. If, for instance, it was a completely customized report, you can have them all be of one visual theme as opposed to some that might be gray, some might be white, some might be black. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and choose black and submit. So it's going to recache and refresh that data. We have our full list again, and now we can be set to distribute this information every time we refresh it. So in this video we covered what reports are possible within Connect, including utilizing different element types, so charts and spline, graphs, etc., in addition to utilizing full roll-up reports or completely customized reports. We also talked about how you would create your own customized reports by creating those individual elements and then appending them one after another into an existing report. We also talked about options available for automatically distributing these reports and properly exporting report and user data. So in the following videos, we have more information corresponding to templating steps and preserving your best practices within Connect, so stay tuned.